Hey guys, how's it going? First off, I just want to give you a disclaimer. Be careful when your barber agrees to you saying, surprise me. Actually, in seriousness, I wanted to try something new, so I decided to change my hairstyle a bit again. If you remember, I actually did this back in November too, so yeah, bit of a change, but hey, it's all good. So I'm just going to do this live stream in Dirt Rally, and then I am going to just sort of discuss about Dirt 4. I know that's a hot topic amongst a lot of racers, especially Rally, and that is definitely an interesting thing. I got to test out Dirt Rally, or Dirt 4, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and that was in San Francisco at a semi-private press event, so that was pretty exciting. I also got to interview Clive Moody, who is the executive director of the title, and he had some information to share, so that was pretty fun and pretty awesome to be able to have that opportunity to go to my first ever event. So that was pretty awesome, I gotta say that. And I'd like to thank Codemasters and High Silver for inviting me to the event. So yeah. So I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun right now. I'm doing a couple rallies. I might do rally cross, and also just share some of my thoughts, talk about what I liked about Dirt 4, what I didn't like, and also answer any questions you guys might have. So just feel free to bring in any questions, anything of that sort, and I'll see what I can do to answer them. Let's just have a little bit of fun right now. Let's just go with the 2000s eras. I always like those cars. So I'm just doing Argos in Greece. This is one circuit that is not making its return in Dirt 4. The main places that are coming to Dirt 4 are Michigan. I believe they said that there is Powys in Wales. That's making its return. Sweden also, and Spain. And one other that's just slipping my mind right now. But there's decent amount of tracks, and one of the big ticket items in Dirt 4 is going to be the My Stage, which is basically overhaul, or not overhaul, but basically taking Gran Turismo stage creator and turning it to 11. So let's give this a try. I haven't really driven this car much at all.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Should be fun. But one of the things I heard people asking is, oh gosh, frame rates like sucks while streaming. Might need to change some of my settings, but basically a lot of people were asking if the My Stage was as good as it is, and I gotta say it is pretty darn nice. I will say that it is exciting to see the ability to create just crazy stages quickly. And with that, you basically... oh crap. Stalled it. Okay, this is almost like a slideshow right now. I have no clue what the hell's going on. Okay, I can't drive like that. Hold on, I just need to change these settings. Yeah. For the record, I'm using a GTX 970, which should be running alright, but I've never had a situation like that, so I'm just going to put it on medium. one of the things I did like about Dirt Rally is your settings can be decent. Even with medium, it can look pretty good. Okay, so let's try this again. Hopefully this is a little better.
Five, four, three, two, one, go. Right 4 at the crest line, over 100. Left 6, 80 crest.
Okay, that's a lot better.
100 through depth. Right 4 times 3.
But as I was saying, my stage is really good. Dang it. Rally is so freaking difficult to talk while driving.
Keep mid over 2 crests. Right.
But Dirt Rally and Dirt 4 have a lot of similarities in the courses. I will say that in Dirt 4, some of the tracks are wider if you turn down the complexity on the My Stage. If you turn up the complexity in My Stage, you are going to have narrow.
Right 1/2 long. Into left
Oh
1
crap. Okay, that did not go well. I will say, judging from this, Dirt Rally might be a little more difficult because, in my opinion, this, the handling model feels almost a little floatier. But also, this clutch simulation, I wasn't a big fan. I don't know if it's because of the using Vel pedals, where the bite point isn't as close as where it is in the sim than physically for these pedals, but for some reason I'm missing a lot of shift, so I have to rethink, be a little more deliberate. But if I am a little slower in my shift, it should be alright. But in Dirt 4, it was really showcasing the My Stage creator in the demo that I got to test. Basically, the demo I got to test was pretty full length. And, or not full length, but the demo I got to try was essentially the full game. And I got to test everything. I got to test out the rallycross. I got to test out the rally. I got to test out the dirt school. I got to test out basically everything Dirt 4 is going to have to offer, which is nice. Gave me a decent full length to test it out and see what worked well, what didn't, and it seemed pretty well fleshed out, especially for an alpha. Soon I'm gonna assume it's gonna go to beta and then the final release in June. But I would say, save for a couple technical hiccups I had, I would say that if it was released today, it would be a pretty solid title. It is a little light on content, which was crap. My left rear is flat, so I couldn't really turn left. But if Dirt 4 was released as is today, then shoot. I'm like Zoolander, can't turn left. Hold on. But basically, it is light on content, so that was sort of similar to Dirt Rally. I would have loved to see the Dirt Rally content in Dirt 4. Pikes Peak obviously couldn't make it due to licensing, but I would have loved to see at least more locations. I mean, sure, we have the My Stage, which is able to have the variety that we want, but the different sceneries, that would be awesome to see, even if it was in patches or DLC. Come on.
Right 3 long, 60.
Okay, next run's gonna be a lot better. That flat tire's killing me.
Left 2 continues for 80 past lay-by.
So,
Into right
one of the
6.
things I didn't really like was the lack of variety in locations. There's only going to be 5 out the door.
And right 2 half.
Other titles have more, but
3 long, keep
I would say Dirt 4 is making up for it big time with the
right 6 over small crest.
My
Into
Stage.
4, 80.
So that's a benefit at least.
80 over small crest.
And then to see where it goes from there. Oh, that sucked. I'm really rusty when it comes to rally. I'll say that. Please be a service station between the two. Also, speaking of service stations, I had a lot of questions about damage. And in Dirt 4, I will say they are taking some steps forward. Please, okay, there's no stage, dang it.
2, 1, go. Right 4 over crest line, over 100.
So in Dirt 4, if your car is damaged and you are at a service station, you're going to have a few options to repair the car. You're going to either have the quick repair, which is exactly as it sounds. It's going to be quicker, but you're not going to have nearly as solid a fix, so it might be susceptible to breaking again. You have the more thorough fix, which is they spend more time on the repair and they will do what they can to make it a more robust repair. You also have the option to replace said part, and that is the longest of all, but you get a fresh new part. So those are the 3 main options in service stations. With the time allotment, it was basically my main attempts were in rallycross, so you don't get much time to repair, so you'd be lucky to get even minor repairs. One thing I did notice though in a rallycross stage was at one point I had elected to do repairs on my transmission instead of engine, and even without contact, my engine ended up blowing midway through the stage. And to my knowledge in Dirt 4, I have not seen any of the rewind, so you can rewind to the beginning of that stage. And when I did that, I missed that rock by hitting that bump. But when I restarted that stage, my engine failed at the exact same point. I tried again, engine failed again, exact same point. And then I decided to try babying it, and I actually was able to limp the car across the finish, and then it blew up. So it's cool seeing that your damage does carry over and it saves if you restart. It might be irritating if you are sort of stuck with your damage. So there's that, but hey, it's kind of the realism. If you are worn out, if your car's really worn, then you need to be really careful with your car, unless you want it to kaboom on you. Crud. But yeah, this is a lot better without that flat right rear. Even, whoa, frame rate hiccup. But yeah, Dirt 4, definitely a lot of solid potential. I liked the car selection. Off the top of my head, I can't rightly say what all is new. There is a new type of it being called the cross kart, which is for rallycross racing, which is essentially a mini buggy. And that thing actually was very challenging to drive. It was very lively, especially with it being a rear-engine car, or it was either rear or mid-engine, and it was really basically difficult to drive. I just saw someone ask if we can manage a crew like in Dirt Rally. I, I didn't really go in depth into the career mode myself because I had such a limited amount of time. I wanted to sort of diversify. Career, I believe there's crew. I'm not certain. I want to say I saw John Sable inside Sim Racing testing out career there. So you might want to check with him too. But I believe that is still going to be an element where you have the crew and helps with repairs over the course of the race. Because I think I remember seeing something along the line of, in the repair screen, seeing like crew bonus or something like that. So I believe there is crew customization.
Left 6. Left 4 half long, 60 over crest jump AB. Left 6 and right 1 long, crest. Left 5, right 4 through dip, don't cut. Left 6 continues
Whoa.
to 80, times
Crud.
5, 60.
That was a mistake on my end. But another thing I'll just touch on is the driving feel, which is a huge talking point. In Dirt Rally, I always made, like, I had a feeling that it was almost a floaty feel, per se, especially on asphalt. I was only able to test with a Logitech G29 at the event, but I would say the feel of it is a lot better. Where, oh crap, where I was able to really feel what was going on with the car communicated through the wheel. Tarmac asphalt was major improvement. Crap.
Right 5, don't cut 100. Left 1 long, tightens and narrows 60. Right 6, 60. Left 6, 60. Left 6 into corner, bump narrows.
I forgot how difficult this was.
Right 6.
But I was saying, the wheel was really improved, like the force feedback in Dirt 4. In the tarmac asphalt segments, it was majorly improved. And that was one of my main gripes with Dirt Rally. Because, I hate to say it, as arcadey as Dirt 3 was, or Dirt 2 and Dirt 3 was, they had believable asphalt handling. In this Dirt Rally, it wasn't as believable as I thought it could have been. It just kind of felt floaty. So, I would say in Dirt 4, there's a good compromise. You have that sort of planted feel, but the lively nature of the cars. So that, I'd say, is the good compromise. It feels authentic. It feels believable, as opposed to the tarmac in Dirt 4, where it never really sat well with me. Wow, that Blacker Go finally. Spatial Dragon, I am currently on PC. I am utilizing triple screen setup, so that's why it kind of is looking out the middle. Oh wow, I just realized I forgot to turn something on. Hold on 1 minute. I just realized my chat isn't showing. Sorry about that. Hold on. Minor sidetrack, but I'll be back in a second. There we go. Looks like chat's coming back up. Hold on, I will be right back. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay, so sorry about that technical difficulty. Now, here's the question. Are you talking about the Fanatic wheel that I'm using or the box? Because actually behind me, I just got this box from Fanatic. It's the Club Sport Wheel V2.5. Kind of funny story. I was just about to review the Club Sport Wheel V2, and then I get the email that the 2.5 was announced. So basically now I'm going to be reviewing the 2.5. And Space Shovel, are you planning on using the wheel for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or what are you planning on using the wheel for the most? Okay, next stage. Let's repair the vehicle. So, yeah, if you notice, in here, we are using sliders to basically repair to percentages. In DiRT 4, you have, basically, it's not tuning to a percentage. You have the quick repair, the more thorough repair. You have the replace the entire part. So that is sort of a big difference compared to what we see here. Because here you go to the percentages. Actually, hold on. Where's the match button? So let's just match this. Okay, looks good. And then yeah, that's like Spatial Dragon. That is the one downside I would say with a Fanatic wheel. Basically, as of right now, they don't support PlayStation 4, which is a pain. I hate it when politics get in the way of having fun. Like, it's a bunch of he said, she said, and that is never good. But all in all, I will say the Thrustmaster T300 RS, great option for PS4. It works well. It does the job. I forgot I mapped the handbrake to the left paddle. I could have used that for a handbrake turn. But yeah, I have my T500 RS. It's also a very solid wheel. I really enjoy it was the Ferrari GTE, which is also the same wheel rim on the stock T300. It works really well. It's a smaller size, which some people might not like, but it works especially well for open wheel cars. So I would recommend it for that. I would recommend that rim. I haven't actually owned a T300 myself. I basically just would say that I would in some ways recommend the T300 over T500 though, based on my time driving with it because I would say that the brushless motors make a huge difference. There is a sort of weight and dampening in the T500, which isn't there nearly as much with the T300. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Dang it! Whoa. Okay, I almost fell off that cliff. So tough to talk while driving rally.
Into turn right 3. Into left 2 tight. Into left 6. Into right 3 hard long through dip.
I apologize if I'm missing some things in the chat. I think you understand that why this can be so freaky. Rally at night. Enough said.
Into right 5 long. And hairpin right 60.
Oh, I hit that berm.
Hairpin left.
Whoa! Dirt for simplified tuning system. I didn't get much into the tuning. I believe there is a simplified tuning, but also if you are concerned about that, they also really spell out what each modification does. It really does walk you through how to set up your car. So this could be a decent way to learn how to set up your car for rally. That's something I say that Codemasters rally titles usually do a good job with.
Left 6 and right 6 over bump 60. Caution left 6 hard long.
So Spatial Dragon, I never really had a problem with overheating in my T500, but I did actually replace one of the fans because Thrustmaster, they offered me a better fan to do, so they sent me the fan, I replaced it, and basically never really had problems. The new fan they sent me was a lot quieter, which I really liked. And it was a major benefit for me. Because basically after I would drive for a while, it would take about 20 minutes for the fan to turn off. And that, yeah, I mean, you get used to it running in background and whatnot, but still, it's a fan going for 20 minutes and cooling off a hot fan or hot wheel. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, that could have been ugly. It is so tough to read while driving, guys. Don't text and drive.
Into left 6 crest bump and right 6 through dent 60. Hairpin left.
But yeah, T500's having bad fans. I got mine back in 2014. Actually, no. 2013. So it was out for a year or so. It was back when the box for it was, whoa! Dang it. But yeah, like the wheel was out for a bit then, but it was still like one of the early gens. Because I believe the new ones had a blue box. The earlier ones had white and red.
And caution, turn right 3, tightens over jump 60 down. Narrows. Left 4 long, opens and tightens over jump.
Whoa. Oh gosh.
Into right 4 long, tightens to 3.
Whoops.
Jump cut. Into left 680 over crest.
Oh gosh.
Left 5, long 60. Left 6.
Engine damage.
And right 4.
I'm not surprised. I've been going with like a bad radiator for a stage and a half now.
Right 6. And
We'll see if I can limp it home, guys.
Into turn hairpin left. Right 5, long.
For the record, I suck at rally, but
Can left
it's a
6
lot of
crest.
fun, I'll say that.
100 crest, 80.
I was actually doing a lot better with the Logitech wheel.
Caution right 2 half long.
I think that is largely in part to
Into
Dirt
turn
4 being, in my opinion, a better handling title. Some of the earlier stages I was doing to test it. Ow. Of course. In my past experiences, I almost always miss that. Force feedback level. In the wheel, I have it at like full strength in this wheel. And then I have it set to like I think 60 or 70 in the game. But yeah, I'll just say in Dirt Rally it's held up nicely. I mean, it's been out for 2 years, year and a half now, ever since early access, but it's a great looking game. It definitely is fun. So, oh yeah, Hell Norway, that is also in Dirt 4, so that is a nice addition. So let's have a little bit of fun. So 1600s. Let's do the Renault. But yeah, just as a disclaimer, no one is really doing a I don't think anyone's confused, but this is not Dirt 4. This is Dirt Rally. I just want to make that clear to everyone. And yeah. So remember, competition ISR did. Yeah. So yeah, I would say for rally driving, it is really important to have a quick wheel to be able to just like throw the car around. So I could definitely see why a gear-driven wheel would be quicker.
To take it once. If you miss it, you'll get a time penalty.
Okay, so let's take a look at this. So I believe, yeah, this is the same track as in Dirt 4. So if you've driven Hell Norway and Dirt Rally, you'll be happy to see that it's the same in Dirt 4. It's a lot faster feeling with triple screens though. And I will say, oh, Dirt 4 so much better on Asphalt. Joker lap time. But yeah, I do not have like a playable build of Dirt 4. They said possibly around June or so, but also their distributor in the US is High Silver, and their studio or their American location is about a half hour from me, so I might take that into consideration and try to talk to them about maybe seeing about doing another preview in the near future. I suck. I say part of it's Dirt 4 spoiled me. Part of it is just, yeah. PC, I wouldn't say it is the only way to go for online racing. I will say it's one of the best ways to go for online racing. I mean, one of the benefits is you're not paying a monthly subscription unless you're paying for iRacing. But you have that open-endedness. You have better league functionality, things like that. Spatial Dragon. I have not tested GT Sport. I signed up for the beta. I didn't get selected, which is okay. I would say that, judging from what I have seen, there are some positive elements, but there are some things I'm still concerned about. The sound is still a sticking point for me. I have also noticed that unless there's an assist that can be turned off in menus, most of the gameplay videos I saw still had that thing that would cut off the throttle when you are off the track, which is not good for iRacing, or not iRacing, for racing in general, because you're not wanting to you want to keep up the momentum in the wheels. So I would say that in terms of in Gran Turismo, I would love to see them get rid of that assist of sorts that cuts off the throttle when you are actually driving in the dirt, because that is sort of counterintuitive as it is in real life. When you are in that sort of environment, you are going to have you're going to want the wheels to spin instead of losing all your momentum in dirt. So I would say, just with that, it's frustrating. The cars, the physics seem solid. I mean, with most Gran Turismo games, the physics are pretty darn solid. I'll say that. In terms of like the online gameplay, it looks great. Online, it looks very solid. And with that, I would say the online racing there, I am happy to say that it might be like a console version of iRacing to an extent. We're seeing all these different titles that are sort of giving this driver rating system. We're seeing Assetto Corsa with the Minnow rating. We're seeing Project Cars 2 have a driver ranking system. We're hearing rumors that rFactor 2 is going to have a driver rating system. We're seeing all this in the sim developing. So we'll see how that turns out. But I'd say, in terms of, I saw in the comments, holding drivers responsible, I'm seeing potential there. So that is a great thing. Time will tell, and it'll see if that really pays off. I mean, in any title, they are going to have wreckers. In any, even in iRacing, there's going to be those people that cause wrecks. And that's coming from people that are spending buttloads of money. So, I mean, there's always going to be the people either with more money than sense or something where it just causes issues. So I would say there's always those people that want to beat the system. There's always those people that are looking to really stir up the pot, tick people off. So we're never going to be totally rid of those, unless there's something like you stick in your brain and you will feel like the pain from every accident. I would say, with sim racing being a simulation of real racing, and you're not actually feeling the pain of an accident, you're not at risk of a concussion or something like that, that sort of takes away the risk, that takes away the danger. But really, with what you see, I will say that we are heading the right direction into taking sim racing more seriously in terms of wheel-to-wheel racing and not just kamikaze drivers. So let's see. Hold on, let's see what else there is. Okay, but yeah, so I've had exciting races in Gran Turismo. I've had exciting races in rFactor, iRacing, Assetto Corsa. I've had exciting races all around, and we can really see what happens there. So I would say basically whatever you're looking for, you can find good racing. I would say especially if you're in a league. You can find great racing in a league and see where it goes from there. And that's like if you're really serious about what you're wanting to race. So you can find decent public server racing as long as you like avoid the first lap. The 112 car is beside itself. Whoa! I think I just got turned. Let's see if I can make up for that. I will say the wet surfaces in Dirt 4 really do add another dynamic element to it as well. I will say it can be very exciting. I'm getting better with shifting with these pedals. Ooh, that was close. I will agree with you. Gran Turismo 4, a truly great racing title. It really fleshed out cars. I would say it was almost like the Flight Simulator X, or not Flight Simulator X, the Flight Simulator 2004 of sim racing. You had all these historic cars that maybe weren't really meant for racing. They were meant to sort of see how far we've come in terms of cars. So that was really cool to see. I basically enjoyed even driving the I believe it was the Benz Patent Motorwagen, as James May called it. And that was a nightmare to drive at the Nordschleife, but funny as heck. But man, I have fond memories of Gran Turismo 4. I actually was driving that with a Mad Catz MC2. Well, that sucks. I'm not going to make a pass. Gran Turismo 5. Oh gosh, I was in the hype train for that title, leading to it coming out. Fun fact, that title almost got me banned from GT Planet in, I want to say it was 2009, where I believe it was April Fool's Day, and I had a trailer, or not a trailer, I decided to rickroll the forums, saying, "Oh my gosh, great new trailer with dirt and like with rally racing, with Porsche, with damage. And consider this was 2009, and like, and basically I put on the Aslan or the Rick Astley video, and I received a strike for that in the forums. And yikes, it was not pretty. Somebody did come up with a funny joke saying, "Oh look, it's the Astley Martin." And then 4 guys were like, "Ban this guy." And it's like, whoops. And yeah, there was a point where I actually had a dream about Gran Turismo 5, where it was a Porsche driving on Monza, and basically the car spun out, got caught in the gravel trap, and started barrel rolling, and the car just got torn to shreds. And then I woke up. It was kind of crazy though, because not every day you have a dream about a video game, but Gran Turismo was really special for me. And I bought the like $99 special edition that had that Nissan GTR car. It had a Gran Turismo keychain. It had that artwork book. And I ended up selling it a while back to get my T500 years ago. Basically, I sold my consoles and stuff to raise some money. And then, actually no, that was to buy a bike for cycling. And I really, basically, I kind of regret that decision. And it was like, it's like, it's life. Oh!
The car ahead hasn't jokered yet.
I just totally got rammed.
Okay, last lap coming up. Don't forget your joker.
Looks like that guy was playing taking his joker, and he just demolished my rear. But yeah, so Gran Turismo has a soft spot in my heart. To be honest, I barely touched Gran Turismo 6 for 2 reasons. One was I didn't have a PlayStation 3 at the time.
Okay, the car ahead
And
starts
the
to
other reason was I just felt like it didn't really bring much to the table,
car behind has gone into the
because
joker.
I just like I felt Gran Turismo was losing its way. It really felt like I lost my enjoyment of Gran Turismo at that point. And at that point, I was also kind of hooked on iRacing, where I did around 400 races in 3 years, I think. So I got really caught up in iRacing. And that was fun and all, but I'm really hoping that Gran Turismo Sport is pretty special. I'm really hoping for that. And I think there is a solid chance that could happen. And basically all we can do right now is hope. And what I've heard about GT Sport is at least positive. So I'm happy about that. Okay, top 3 qualify for the final. Let's do some minor repairs. Wheel repairs. I actually have to do that in real life. I had my tire pressure indicator come up, and it was like, oh, dang it. I go to the store, and they tell me after 2.5 hours of waiting, oh, we can't fix your tire because the wheel's damaged. I'm like, are you kidding me?
The car behind is
And
taking the joker now.
what I noticed was that my car, I think it was because there was so much heavy rainfall in my town, the potholes were just insane. So I hit a pothole a few weeks ago so hard, it literally knocked the breath out of me. So I think that pothole also damaged my wheel. So I had to repair that on my actual car, which is kind of frustrating, but it's all good. Sean, my setup, I am using the Fanatic Club Sport Wheel V2. I am using the Club Sport Shifter Sequential, and I am using the Husingfeld Engineering Pro pedals. So that is my setup. Soon, I'm actually going to be going to the V2.5, which is actually right behind me. I just received that Monday, but basically school's been getting in the way. I'm planning on doing an unboxing soon. I am using the Forza hub, but Clooney, right now I am actually using the V2. V2.5 I'm going to be unboxing soon. I wish I could say I was lazy. Or basically, right now I'm dealing with school. I'm directing a short film. I am basically working on a side job where I am designing a website for a friend. I am also doing another side job designing another website. So basically designing 2 websites, school, running this site, and then also I am working with a family friend replacing the carpet with hardwood floor in my house. We are just getting the lawn in my backyard replaced because it had some damage in the flood. So, been crazy. And then actually Sunday was my birthday, so also sort of took that day off. And Spatial Dragon, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again sometime.
I think the car ahead.
But yeah, oh man, it's been heck of a past couple weeks, because also last week I went to San Francisco for the Dirt 4 event. Actually, jeez, was that just last week? Man, time flies. Must be having fun. So, yeah, it's been heck of a busy 2 weeks.
The car in front has just started their joker.
Fair enough, Sean. I see your message there about sticking with the 920. I've only tested that wheel once, and it was a few days ago, or last week at the Dirt 4 event. It's a decent wheel. I would say it's a great entry mid-level wheel. And I will say, at that point, you do start to get that diminishing return. You do start to have that point where you are really not paying more for speed. You're paying for that realism factor. You're paying to basically have more immersion. So I would say it is a great wheel. So that is definitely what I would say about the G920. And thanks for watching that video. Dang, these wheels are fragile. I mean, not fragile, but... Hold on. Repair. Boom. Which is the match button? Okay, that's the match button, the right paddle shifter. And one of the downsides with PC racing is it is always difficult to remember which button's which at times. Okay, let's try to get a good start. Great start! Let's take the Joker. Oh, that sounded like carnage.
Time has gone into the Joker.
We're up to third. Tsukino, he took the Joker, so basically racing him. I would say Logitech definitely is usually more reliable. I had a G25 before my Thrustmaster and Fanatic wheels. I used the G25 for a few years. Then I did have the cracked encoder. So that's one of the things that really made me start looking at other wheels when I started noticing things going off center. I did have an issue with the sensor in the shifter too. So I would say that is something to take into consideration where, I mean, anything can break. Oh! That was not pretty. Dang it. That knocked me out, guys. Yeah. My wheel's not tracking straight now. That was a mistake on my end. But yeah, so I would say that, right, Logitech, it used to be the great bang for the buck. Now, I don't really know what it is. The G920 and the G29, with how it is being marketed right now, for the price, I can't recommend it as easily as I used to recommend the G27 or G25. So that is just my input. The G27, G25, for their price, I could recommend easily. For the price of what the G29, G20, or 920 is stock, like not on sale, then I would say I can't recommend that nearly as much, because I would say there isn't as much innovation. Other manufacturers have caught up to them in terms of reliability, in terms of quality, where basically, if you don't get it on sale, a G920 is $400, or a G29, $400. For that same price, you get the Thrustmaster T300 RS with the Pro pedals. You could get it for that same price, or maybe a hair more, but in my opinion, the force feedback in that is far greater. You could also get the Fanatic Club Sport wheel, or not Club Sport wheel, the CSL Elite wheel with pedals for, or the 2-pedal kit for about $399. You can add the clutch pedal, or not clutch pedal, the load cell brake for about $120. So that would bring it to $620, but that is basically a great load cell pedal set, and I would say, in my opinion, a lot more immersive, a lot more fun, dare I say, than the Logitech wheel. That's not to say the Logitech is a bad wheel. I just say for the nominal price increase, you get a lot more bang for your buck. That's my input. If they included the shifter with the G920 and G29, I would be saying something differently. But they're selling that for like $60 as a separate add-on. And I just can't wrap my mind around that. That's my 2 cents on that. Okay, let's do one last thing. Pikes Peak. So let's just do mixed surface. Let's turn down the difficulty. I'm not as good as I would like to believe I am. But yeah, so Pikes Peak, non-Dirt 4. Sad day. I wish it was, but licensing. Apparently it's going to be in Gran Turismo Sport, though, so that's a welcome return to Gran Turismo. The last Gran Turismo title I have it is Gran Turismo 2. So, Gran Turismo Sport. Hello, Dara Lynch. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. But, yeah. Hopefully you're having a great evening. Dong Woon Kim. Hello and welcome to the stream. And Jim Giokizas. I am sorry. Or Giokizas. Ay. It's 9:22 p.m. here. Starting to get a little tired, so I apologize if I make mistakes with your names. Okay, Pikes Peak. In the rain. Oh gosh. This is going to kill us. I'm just taking it easy here. But man, that 5-cylinder sound. I love it. Okay. I will just say I meant to do that, and I can let you guys pretend that I'm cooler than I really am. But I will just say, it's kind of a shame that... Oh, crap! Whoops. F2 dirt cars. I believe those kit cars are in Dirt 4. I did drive a little bit with the kit cars. Those are the front wheel drive ones, correct? Ah, come on, I didn't hit them. Yeah, I have school in the morning too. I have my film class where I am directing a short film for a school project, and yeah, that'll be fun. Even though, whoa! Okay. Rest in peace. But yeah, so I believe those front wheel drive cars are in, and I at least saw F2 kit cars. I don't know if they're all brand new. Dang, that hurt. Okay, let's give this a retry. That was ugly. I need to make it up Pikes Peak without dying. If that is possible. This rain, though. Whoa! Oh no! Oh no! Sorry, crowd. Kit cars. I believe there was a Volkswagen Polo. I'm not certain. I think I did see a Volkswagen. Dang it. Okay, let's do this again. But yeah, there was a decent selection of kit cars in Dirt 4 from what I could tell. Kung Fu Joe, A, epic name. B, I felt the co-driver calls were more accurate than in Dirt Rally. And also what I enjoyed was you could set the calls to be earlier or later. I forget if that's in Dirt Rally. Let's take a look. So I don't see anything in the way of making co-drivers earlier or later. Actually no, earlier, very early, later. Yeah, so that's going to be back, but I believe that the drivers or the co-driver is slightly more precise than in the original, or than in Dirt Rally. That is my opinion. I felt they were easier to follow. The driver, I believe, yeah, the driver in Dirt Rally is different than in Dirt 4. So that could also be a contributing factor where it's not the same co-driver. So that could be one of the reasons the co-driver I noticed was a little better in Dirt 4 than in Dirt Rally. I hate missing these shifts. I forget if I can adjust the clutch biting point in this, but it's tough because the Husingfeld pedals, they have this clutch biting point towards the end of the throw. If I believe, yeah, it's a little easier said than done to really do a solid crud. Same point. Okay, I'm still kind of alive. But yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, these Husingfeld pedals, they are a solid set. It just seems like they're acting up a bit with Dirt Rally. With the clutch biting point, feels easy to miss a shift. Have to be sort of slow and deliberate. Which isn't a bad thing. It just means I'm not able to shift nearly as fast as I'd like to. In other sims, I can shift just fine. But man, I will just say these dirt surfaces feel good in Dirt Rally. The asphalt in Dirt Rally feels horrible. The asphalt in Dirt 4, so much better as I go off track. Alright, Jim, have a fun time at school. Get an A, or whatever grade they give you there. In Dirt Rally, I felt that the asphalt driving was very floaty. It didn't really feel precise. I couldn't really get a good feel of how the car was handling through the wheel. In Dirt Rally, even though I was driving with a wheel that was completely foreign to me, or in Dirt 4, even though I was driving with a wheel that was completely foreign to me, I could really get a solid feel of what the car was doing. I could really feel the sensation of the weight. I could really feel like the car's momentum shifting, and that was a really solid feeling through the wheel. So I bet in theory you might be able to an extent tweak the force feedback in here to simulate that feeling, but in Dirt 4 it felt a lot better. Whoa! Okay, I was reading Jim's message and totally missed that cliff. I'll just blame you, Jim, but yeah, okay. Maybe now get a B in school. Whoa! Holy lift. That car even lifted, bro. Because of that downforce wing, air got underneath it and the car just flew up. Whoops. Sean, there are trophy trucks in Dirt 4. I do not know if you can use them on rally courses. I didn't really see the selectable option for trophy trucks in rally courses, but I will say like rallycross cars could be in the rallycross courses, things like that. I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe there can be a mod in the future that could allow for all cars, all trucks to be used on all tracks or courses. But I believe, off the top of my head, I don't think that the trophy trucks or cross carts or buggies are able to be used in a rally course. Given the past history of dirt titles, I find it relatively unlikely that they would change that around in the first party. So, I would say, to answer your questions, yes, trophy trucks, Dirt 4, yes. Rally courses, and not so much, I don't think. I would say it is more likely that a third-party mod would come and enable that. Oh, hey, Austin, how's it going? You're just in time to watch me suck at Pikes Peak. Remember, guys, don't read and drive in real life, or else your car's gonna look like mine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. Replay cameras are largely the same as in Dirt Rally, which is a good thing in my opinion. Whoa. Hey guys, look at that view. Look at that view. That was totally intentional. Not. But the replay angles, I would say, are largely the same. I didn't really go in depth and check them on every car and track, but they still exist. Dang, I'm only halfway done. This car might not survive, but hey, we're having fun. Yeah, one of the downsides of my testing of Dirt 4, though, was that it was with the PS4 version, not the PC. From what I've seen of test driving videos, I would say that we have only seen the PlayStation 4 version so far. And all things considered, it ran pretty smooth. It was pretty darn nice for an alpha video or alpha game. Sean, from what I have seen, I don't really remember any instances where there were the camera people like walking into the middle of the course and running off, all like similar to Richard Burns' rally. That would have been sick, I'll say that. Sean, Xbox One versus PC. Oh gosh. Yeah, I was reading, that's why I'm off. So Xbox One versus PC. I would say the biggest thing you lose is the open-endedness. That's the best way to sum it up. Where Xbox One, you're heavily limited to what hardware you can use. PC, you can mix and match. For example, as I mentioned before, I'm using a Fnatic wheel with Husing valve pedals. Husing valve pedals will not work on any console. So you would always have to use a Fnatic pedal set or an adapter to make another pedal set work for that. But there's that. For the Xbox, you don't have the ability to have third-party mods or third-party skins. So that is kind of a downside as I go flying. Whoops. Another downside with the Xbox, I would say, is that you don't have ability to do triples or like other displays right now. I know that I believe Project Scorpio and the Xbox One, they are in talks to feature the Oculus Rift, but that isn't right now yet. So for the Xbox One, there's that. But with PC, you can use triple screens, you can use HTC Vive, you can use Oculus Rift, you can use OpenVR, you can use a projector, you can use all sorts of different things. Actually, you can use a projector with the console too, but you can use multi-monitors, you can have a telemetry display above, you can have all this open-endedness there. So I would say for PCs, you are more easily able to scale up and scale down for your setup. That is my simple layman's answer. Awesome to hear, Kung Fu Juice. I am basically, I had the GTO Mega Pro, which I just reviewed the other week. The art does look like a solid cockpit, and I hope you'll be happy with that. The SHH, that's the 3D printed shifter. I've talked with Pablo Lopez. He talked about the idea of sending or getting one sent out to me in the future, but all things considered, there's a lot of stuff going on. Sean, that is a tough, or not tough question. I would say that PC, where now you can get Forza Motorsport on PC. That is a great open-ended title. You can get also just that incredible backlog of PC titles. You can play Grand Prix Legends on the PC. You can play all these sorts of different titles, such as Grand Prix Legends, as mentioned. If you can ever find it, NASCAR Racing 03. You can play like rFactor, rFactor 2, all that sort of stuff, and really have that open-endedness. With the Xbox One, you're limited in your backwards compatibility to just the Xbox 360, and just select titles there. So, with that being said, I would say if you're looking to get serious about sim racing, look into a PC, because there's just so much available for that. So how about for fun, let's shift away from dirt, because I keep on sucking, and let's try something a little different. So hold on, let's just switch that for now. Okay, let's see what we can do. Oh, I'm realizing my chat's doubling up again. That's frustrating. So, let's try some Automobilista. I haven't done that in a little while. Hold on, let's check something. Oh yeah, I just remembered why I was having an issue with it before. It should work okay now. So, set up the resolution, 5760 by 1080. Hold on, let's grab the Formula rim. Let's have some fun with open wheel. Sean, F1 in Automobilista is a blast. One of the things I love is it has all of the different eras. Even though they're not official, they are basically these other titles that are basically, they have the version that's after the 1960s Formula 1. They have the 70s, they have the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and now the 2010s. They're going to have their 2017 inspired car coming soon. Okay, Kung Fu Joe 110. What modern racing or sim game do you recommend? Dirt 4 is a must-buy. There are many other pavement racers out there. It's hard to pick. Leaning towards Assetto Corsa. Assetto Corsa, very solid pick. It is basically very open-ended. It does a great job of just being able to do what you're looking for. A lot of different racing series. The only main downside I would say with with Assetto Corsa is it's not as fleshed out in the racing rules as compared to other titles such as rFactor, Automobilista, iRacing, and so on. So with that, I would say if you're not as worried about like having the full race weekends, if you're looking for, say, Gran Turismo on the PC, Assetto Corsa, great option. If you're looking for the more hardcore racing experience, I would say iRacing, Automobilista, rFactor 2 are very solid choices. But it largely depends also what series are you looking for? What are you looking to drive? So I will also just ask you this question. What series are you most keen on driving? Is it open wheel? Is it GT? Is it what? Hold on. Let's fix this. Okay, let's bring this back up. Okay, I'm going to have to check the stream for a second if it's working now. One of the downsides with this is that... Okay, I see it. That is good. So, I'll show you a Formula 1 car, for example. So, okay, you're definitely a racing addict. So, I would say Automobilista, great option because you have your GT cars, you have the stock cars, you have which is basically almost like the V8 supercars, but the Brazilian version. You have the Boxer Cup, which is basically the Porsche Touring Series, Lancer Cup, which is like front wheel drive. You have all of these open wheel cars, Formula 3, 2015 or 2014 open wheel, 2012 open wheel, 2002, 1995, 1980s, 70s, 60s, so on. You have dirt racing in the form of rallycross and that. You have trophy trucks. So you have those truck series that people were mentioning earlier. You have the training cars. You have go-karts. You have Caterham. You have all these different series at your disposal. And Automobilista, great title. So, also these have some of the best sounds of like the Sims. I would say almost second only to iRacing. Or not iRacing, to Race Room Racing Experience. Race Room Racing Experience sounds are just absolutely insane. And Ron Smith, thank you very much. Yeah, so let's just do this. And let's find a good series to or track to drive on. Let's do Suzuka. And due to licensing constraints in Automobilista, a lot of tracks aren't their actual name. So, for example, Johannesburg is actually known as or it's a South Africa Grand Prix. The name is slipping me right now, but it's a classic racing circuit, great for the older Formula 1 cars. It was a very popular track in Grand Prix Legends. Dang it, why the heck is this track slipping my mind? But Kansai is Suzuka. Imola is pretty much the same name. Then I believe they had Montreal, which was the circuit as seen, Circuit Guise Villeneuve. I apologize for mispronouncing that name, but I'll show you how this car is at Suzuka. It is worth mentioning that this is actually running on the same engine as rFactor 1, which is technically 12 years old now. Dang, I'm starting to feel old. But they are Risa Studios. Amazing job just bringing all this out, bringing all this potential out of the sim, and even modifying the code to add modern features such as track rubbering, to add flat spotting, tire flex, all that good jazz. And they did a great job. So I think since I had to reinstall this, or wait, no, all my controls are mapped. Awesome. So that is good. Let's just make sure the starter and ignition are mapped. Yep. They saved my controls even though I was having glitch with it before. Ah! Sorry guys, that just crashed. Did not expect that. Whoops. Let's try that again, shall we? Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying at least. It's pretty fun to be able to do this with you guys. I still am relatively new to live streaming, but hey, it's all in good fun. It's for you guys, just being able to communicate with the community. I'd say that is a great thing to do, and it's just pretty awesome to be able to be involved with you guys. But yeah, soon I'm going to have an unboxing of the Fanatic Club Sport 2.5. I also am going to be publishing my review of the Husingfeld Pro pedals. Please don't crash. No, dang it. That sucks. Is it a config issue? I wouldn't think so. I remember I had this issue before, so let me just see what I can do. I believe one way I fixed it was running it in administrator mode. So let's try that. So go to properties, browse local files. Let's set this to run as administrator. I think that should help solve this issue. Okay, so there we go. I think that's gonna work. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. Oh, new settings. That stinks, but hopefully this will fix it. Hardcore. Reminds me of that movie School of Rock. No, you're not hardcore unless you live hardcore. Well, I guess it's no, you're not hardcore unless you race hardcore. Steer left, steer right. Shift up, shift down, clutch, ignition, and the starter. I'm not going to worry about gears right now. Speed limiter, DRS, Okay. Let's hope this works, guys. Or else I'm going to be kind of frustrated. Because I wanted to show you. So we were going to do Suzuka. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. Oh, you can't see the game? Are you kidding me? Hold on. Let me try to fix that in a second. Thanks for the heads up. Have to wait for the loading screen before I can alt tab. Okay. So let's see. This is frustrating. Sorry for technical difficulty. Game capture. AMS. Hold on, is this going to be working now? Sometimes streaming can be a major pain, guys. Yeah, check on the stream. Dang it. It's not showing up. Well, the French toast. Yeah, Forza Motorsport I have tested out a little bit. It is kind of irritating, though. Forza just doesn't really have a great feel, in my opinion. It sort of like, for the first few degrees of rotation, it feels okay. Then, after that, the feeling of understeer is so exaggerated that it really detracts from the experience. So, what if you put too much steering in Forza Motorsport? You're screwed. Like, you have no steering feel, and that is frustrating. And speaking of frustrating, seems like Automobilista can't freaking work. Yeah. Never dull moment, huh, guys? My plan B is rFactor 2, I think. But we'll try it one more time, see if Automobilista will boot up. Or that or rFactor 2. I'm Assetto Corsa. Up to you guys. And it is not working. Yay! Larg. Okay, I guess it's time to try out let's do rFactor 2. So, rFactor 2, I'd say, is one of the most underrated racing titles. It really does a great job of basically doing all of the things that racing incorporates. rFactor 2 really does flesh out the rawness of racing. And one way I put it a few years ago was rFactor 2 treats you the way you treat it. If you treat it like a game, throw in the corners, like slide all over the place, lock the tires, you're gonna have a hard time. But with if you treat it like you're driving a real car, if you treat it well, if you are doing the handling, if you are basically focusing on being a solid driver, then it will end up treating you well. And I have won a few races in rFactor 2 because of being a conservative driver, and then other people are flat out acting like idiots, and they end up burning up their tires and don't really have anything at the end of the race. Some of the downsides of rFactor 2, though, their user interface sucks right now. Thank God they're changing it. But if you see, all of their content is essentially utilized by all of this, it has its own mod utility to load in first party content, which kind of weird, but I understand it. It's kind of frustrating though, because I had to move from a solid state drive to a my stuff from the solid state drive to the hard disk drive. So that is sort of why some of this is reinstalling. So I'm just going to cancel that out for now. I believe what I'm looking for is already installed. So I hit the cancel button. Please. Okay. Loading up rFactor 2. So in this, you really are like driving a real car. In terms of the feeling of how to drive it, it feels pretty darn good. Actually, dang it. No, I am not seeing what I want, so I might need to reinstall. But yeah, all of this is great. It does a solid job. It does really treat you the way you treat it. So let's see. Dang it. I hate how this is. Okay, plan C. Let's just go to Assetto Corsa for now. That's properly set up and can do that just fine. But yeah, rFactor 2, Assetto Corsa are two of the main flagship titles when it comes to really like driving and having that experience. Assetto Corsa is essentially, I would say, close to Gran Turismo or Forza Motorsport onto PC. You have a wide car selection. This does tend to lean more to the race car side. There's a wide arsenal of GT3 cars, which some people like, some people don't. This also has the Ferrari Formula 1 cars, so that is actually similar to Gran Turismo, where it's actually officially licensed, things like that. So let's just take the Ferrari F1 car for a spin. As mentioned before, there are the elements of track rubbering up. So you are able to have an either dusty track, which is very slippery at first, an old track, which is sort of like how it would be with like an older track or a fresh one. Slow track doesn't improve much. Green track gets better with more laps. Fast track means it already is very grippy. Or optimum. Let's make things interesting though. Let's make it a dusty track with an F1 car. This should be good. Hold on a second. Let's fire it up, guys. Please work. Okay, it's loaded for me. I'm taking a look at the screen, seeing if that is loading now. I'm gonna be very frustrated if it... There it is! Okay. So, we have it set up where it's gonna be a dusty track, so it's gonna be quite slippery. And should be quite a bit of fun. I basically have this setup where I'm trying to make it... Whoa! Yeah, that's slippery. Oh, I had the racing line because I had a few friends testing this. Sorry. But yeah, oh gosh. That is very, very slippery. A lot of wheel spin at third gear. So one of the things I'm planning on doing in the near future is a sort of series where I sort of do mini reviews on different titles at what stages they're in. So I believe one of the first titles I would review is Assetto Corsa. I consider doing rFactor 2 first, but next month there are going to be some major changes to the title. So I just felt it might not be appropriate to review it in this point in time. So Assetto Corsa, I think, would be a great first choice. It is a very solid title. It is a lot of fun. It really does capture the essence of driving. I would say it doesn't really capture the essence of racing all that well. I mean, compared to other titles. Because as of right now, there aren't really properly implemented flag rules. Pit stops are rather limited. Racing rules rather limited compared to other titles. So I would just say that basically similar to Gran Turismo, Assetto Corsa, very solid driving simulation. Not as much as of right now on the racing side. They're always making improvements though. They're making great strides forward. They, basically time will tell to see what comes out of Assetto Corsa, especially in 2017 and beyond. Okay, drifting a Formula 1 car. Not the best idea. Also, something kind of irritating is you can't really stall cars in Assetto Corsa. Like, the revs run out, you don't have to hit a starter or anything. You can't, stall in a Formula 1 car and be out of the race, per se. There isn't that ragged edge, which, is something that, as of right now, the only titles that really have a proper stalling mechanism are ISI-based titles. rFactor 2, Automobilista, Project Cars. They all allow you to stall, and then you map a starter button to restart the car. iRacing, you have the ignition and starter. You don't have the actual stalling. If you run out the revs, if you stall the car, you just have to press the gas and get going. Hey, Twiggy. Okay, so did Live for Speed have stalling? It's slightly tough though, because Live for Speed is... It was a great title back in the day. The problem is, could you like really classify it as a modern racing simulation that is actively being supported today. That is sort of where things get iffy for me with Live for Speed. That, I mean, Live for Speed, don't get me wrong, great title. Was truly ahead of its time in terms of tire model and everything. But in 2017, we really don't see much out of it. If Live for Speed had more of a community, more modding behind it, I could see it being a great title. But in over a decade, we've barely gotten much. We've barely gotten anything from them in a decade. So, I mean, it's sort of tough to say. Yeah, this track is really dusty. But yeah, so as I was saying before, Assetto Corsa has the option to have track settings. If you notice, it's dusty. So I was literally off the gas in Schumacher. And it basically... it couldn't stick on the track. It kept on washing up. I'm off, and then boom. In a Formula 1 car is, you can handle Schumacher flat out on a good track. So dusty tracks, they clean up, but yeah, as is right now, it's kind of a pain. But, hey, it's definitely interesting. Whoa. Catch that slide. Yeah, the 3-guy dev team, that can definitely hurt. Granted, Caboso, he is like a one-man team, and he pumps out so much stuff. World Racing Series, Kart Racing Pro, GP bikes, all of that. And, I mean... granted, it is slow updates as well, and all of his titles are in beta, which is a very loose term that could almost be applied to any racing simulator now because it's always constantly being evolved. Gone are the days of, like, the final version of a sim. I mean, Gran Turismo 4, one release done, you couldn't patch back then. But now, you see multiple updates a year, like drastic updates, I should say. Assetto Corsa, a year ago today, was a totally different title. Alrighty then, Scorpados. Yeah. I'm not sure if... does it work if you get good luck by rubbing your own bald head? I have no clue. But yeah, like my new lack of haircut, I should say, is sort of just a choice I decided to make, sort of spur of the moment for my 24th birthday. I decided, yeah, I wanted to try something new. I mean, not really new, but I mean, I had this like shaved head back in November, but I thought, yeah, it's starting to warm up. It might be fun to try it again. So here we are, me sans hair, and yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoy it. But yeah, it's almost 10:15 here, so I might wrap up this stream in a little bit, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun also discussing Dirt 4 with you guys. If you have any more questions, you can feel free to shoot me an email. It's william at simracingpaddock.com. Again, that is William at simracingpaddock.com. And I could try to answer any questions you have. So definitely stay up to date on that. And I hope that you guys are enjoying the stream and my actually sort of clean lap in this car. But yeah, you can tell the tracks, the dust is starting to come off. But I mean, still, wheel spin in third gear in this car. Kind of nuts. But man, this car flies. But yeah, man, holy understeer. So different on a dusty track compared to a green or a optimal or fast track. So after this lap, I'm going to wrap things up. Remember, if you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, and stay tuned. We're going to have our unboxing of the Fanatec Club Sport Wheel V2.5 in the near future. But I will warn you, if other unboxing videos are any indication, spoiler alert, it is almost identical to the Fanatec Club Sport Wheel V2. So I'll just say that, but unboxing should be fun. And then I will test it out for a little while, provide my review. Speaking of reviews, I'm going to also have my review of the Husingfeld Engineering Pro pedals coming later this week. I know I was going to have it last week, but I've sort of gone the way, had people working in our backyard and whatnot, and just couldn't really have it quiet per se. Also with my birthday, stuff gets in the way, whatnot, and yeah, it's hashtag life. But I should get it out. I'm trying for this Saturday if possible. So just keep your eyes peeled, and basically if you subscribe, you'll be the first to know when that comes out. So I will just thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned to Sim Racing Paddock. Also, if you want, you can also join our community, which is the Sim Racing Paddock forum. So that's www.simracingpaddock.com/forums, where I'm also going to be planning some races, events, competitions in the near future, and we can try to see how that will go. So I would love for you guys to join the community, have a good time, and share our love for all things sim racing. And, oh, yeah, I'm wiped out, guys. Busy day. But, hey, worth it. Worth it to stream with you guys. A lot of fun. And hopefully we'll have a lot more stuff to share in our love of sim racing and just having a fun time. Let's close out with some donuts that will lower our frame rate. Woo! Alright, so guys, I'll just say thank you for watching. It really means a lot for you guys to take part with the community, and I will just say, until next time, and hopefully I will just have a fun time with you guys in the near future, and let's just make it a good one. And hope you have a great rest of your day. For Sim Racing Paddock, I'm William Marsh, and I'll see you later.